lesson we'll be talking about stalls. So there's two types of stalls that we'll need to practice for our private pilot license. One is the power off stall, which is a simulated stall on landing, and the other one is the power on stall, which is a simulated takeoff stall at full power. One power off stall is going to be a no power, and one is going to be a full power, or not necessarily full power, but at least 65% power for the ACS. So we'll demonstrate both of those. For the power off stall, it's really going to be configuring to land. We'll get all set, establish a constant rate of descent, just like we would on a normal landing. And then from there, we're going to pull the power to idle, pull the nose up to reach a stall, and then to recover from that stall, we're going to apply full power, bring the nose down, and clean up as we would for a go around. So, with our flaps, bring our flaps up for 10 degrees. Once we have a positive rate of climb to 20 degrees, they repeat for the last 10 degrees of flaps to get all flaps up, and we will be recovered from a power off stall. The power on stall, we're already going to be close to full power. If we're not at full power, we're going to apply full power, pitch down, and for all stalls, first step is pitch down for sure. Pitch down and then add power. We're going to add full power again, and since this is a takeoff stall, we shouldn't have any flaps in, so that would be most of the recovery. Key thing for these stalls, you want to make sure you are using the rudder to steer and not the ailerons. Using the rudder will be safer because you want to stay coordinated while you're doing these stalls so that you don't enter a spin. Spin awareness is very important because you're stalling the aircraft, and that's the condition you have to be in for a spin, and spins are definitely more dangerous situation to be in. So avoiding spins is crucial here. If you haven't looked at the acronym for how to recover from a spin, I recommend checking that out. For spin awareness, for spins, use the PAIR acronym. Memorize this. It's how to recover from a spin if you ever enter one, versus the P, which is the power to idle. A is for ailerons, keep your ailerons neutral. R is for rudder, apply full opposite rudder to the direction of spin, and then once you've done all that, push the yoke forward. You want to lower the angle of attack, you want to pitch down. And that will help you recover from a spin if you ever enter one. So keep that memorized and be aware of that while you're practicing these stalls, because that is a possibility. So go ahead and demo the power off stall first, and then we will go into the power on stall. So we'll get right into that now. So here we'll be demonstrating the power off stall and the power on stall. For both these maneuvers, we're going to want to make sure we do those radio calls and do our clearing turns to either 90 degrees or 180 degrees to make sure all the traffic in the area is clear and aware of our intentions and what we're doing. So we'll start off with the power off stall. This is going to be similar to a landing configuration, so we're just going to go ahead and start with pulling power back to 1500 like we would on a landing. So we'll get that back down, and then once our airspeed looks good like it does now, we'll go ahead and apply the first 10 degrees of flaps. Looks good. We'll target that airspeed of 65 like we normally would. Go ahead and add that next 20 degrees of flaps there. Get that going down. Keeping that airspeed right around 65 like we would for a normal descent. And we're going to go ahead and add that last 20 degrees or last 30 degrees of flaps and keep descending there. Now we're going to go ahead and pull power to idle, and we're going to pitch up until we hear the stall horn. And there we hear it, we hear the burbling. We should stall here in a minute, and it'll break over and we'll be able to recover. Not yet. Not quite yet. And there we go, stall. Recover, full power, pitch down. Do the first 10 degrees of flaps up. And we're going to go ahead and wait for a positive rate of climb. Make sure we're accelerating there. Bring our nose up. There we go. We got positive rate of climb, so we got the flaps up. Still got positive rate of climb. Go ahead and do that last 10 degrees of flaps and accelerate back to 70 knots. And there we go. So we have a power off stall complete there. We're accelerating back up, full recovery, and our altitude is increasing, so we're good. So next up we will demonstrate the power on stall. Alright, so now we will demonstrate the power on stall. So what we're going to do is we're going to slow down the airplane. No flaps needed. We're just going to slow down to our rotate speed of 55, and then from there we're going to apply 65% of max power, and we're going to pull up, but we're not going to go above 30 degrees on the attitude indicator there. That way we're not becoming over 30 degrees. Pitch is going to be an aerobatic maneuver, and we need parachutes for that, so you're probably not going to have with your private pilot license. So we're just going to keep that below 30, and the 65% power should be enough to reach a stall. So we'll go ahead and start with that. We're just going to pull power to idle, keep the nose pitched up to bleed off airspeed here. We're going to slow down to 55. Once we're at 55, we'll add that 65% power minimum. Right there, 55. So we'll go ahead and add the power back in, 65%. We're going to, just keep that nose high, so we're bleeding off airspeed still. You're going to want to add some right rudder to account for that airspeed, and be prepared to recover from this. Pitch down and add the rest of the power if you don't have it fully into this. There we go. Not the prettiest recovery, but we got it. Accelerating. And we're going to pitch back up so we're not losing any more altitude. You can see it's easy to, depends on the airplane you're in, but spins can definitely be possible in an airplane like this. So be cautious of that. Know how to recover from a spin. Your instructor should know how to recover from a spin. Just be careful of that, and remember the PAIR acronym for when you're practicing these. And that is it for stalls. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the lesson comment section below, and thank you so much for watching.